I often ask the press to hold people accountable, especially if they're on their air. And I think MSNBC host Chris Jansing did that in this case. She had Representative Francis Rooney on, he's a Republican of Florida, and she asked him about their healthcare proposal. Now, I'm gonna give numbers at the end of these clips that she couldn't have had access to on the spot there. I hope that they do a follow-up segment like this, but I wanna show you what the Congressman said and then what the reality is. Let's watch.
You don't have any concerns about premiums going up?
I think if we can bring choice, selection, and competition back into the non-group policy market through this tax credits, and the premiums will go down and deductibles will go down.
You say you think it will, but what is the confidence level? Because there is a slew of analyses, and you know that they're out there that suggest the exact opposite of what you're saying. And in fact, those who would be hurt the most are those who would in fact be those who have the most difficulty, the poor, the elderly, the people most in need. If the CBO score comes out on this Senate bill and suggests the same thing that the CBO score on the House bill showed, which is that millions of Americans would lose their health care under this bill, you still would support it?
Absolutely, I would. Remember that the voodoo economics of the CBO score was faulty the first time around, and the Wall Street Journal covered that very well. You know, it assumes that nobody will buy insurance unless they're mandated to by a statist system like Obamacare. It doesn't give any credit for behavioral modification and incentive through the tax credits.
Oh, yeah. It turns out, of course, the CBO score came out for the Senate bill and 22 million people are gonna lose their insurance. It's like, oh, we're gonna give them incentive through tax cuts. Now, wait a minute, they don't have that much money to get taxed in the first place. And you're cutting Medicaid by $800 billion. And so if they were relying on Medicaid to get the health insurance in the first place, they can't buy it, they don't have enough money. And almost all of your tax cuts are going to the very top. Here, I'll give you some numbers on that right now, actually. He says, I give tax incentives. Who'd you give it to? The top 1%. Top 1% under Trump care would get a tax break of $45,000 per year. Yes, they'll have plenty of incentive to buy any insurance they like. But you think that's a big number. Tax breaks for the top 0.1% under Trump care is $250,000 a year. So if you're in the top 0.1%, congratulations, Donald Trump and all of the Republicans just gave you a $250,000 per year gift on average. So don't tell me about tax incentives and how they're gonna help people buy insurance. Those folks already had insurance. Almost all the tax cuts go to the very, very rich. But it's okay, because Jansing's actually gonna ask about that. And Rooney has what I view to be a hilarious answer. Now, it's a very standard answer for the Republicans, but I'll show you why it is in fact comical. Here, let's watch.
Let me cite the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, which says this is basically a program, a bill that makes sure that the wealthy get tax cuts. That's okay with you as people are losing their coverage?
See, I happen to think that tax cuts on it to stimulate investments, which is what this tax cut is. It's Obama put in a tax on investments. Cutting those taxes are very important to stimulate investments and job creation. I mean, sometimes these people don't seem to understand how capitalism works. When you incentivize investment, people deploy capital, create jobs, build companies, and put more people to work so they can afford all these things and not have to be on Medicaid.
Oh, I love that condensation. Sometimes people don't understand how capitalism works. Okay, you give all the money to the rich and then it trickles down on you, maybe. I have a different idea. Why don't we just let people have the money in the first place and then they don't have to wait for the rich to have it decide that they're going to allow it to trickle down on the middle class. Okay, so now I have the facts on my side. Let me show you. These are the same exact arguments that the Republicans used under George W. Bush. They said we need massive tax cuts for the rich. And so they got it. And their tax cuts put a $2.1 trillion hole in the deficit under George W. Bush. From 2001, and those tax cuts continued until 2010 under Obama, when Obama changed the tax regulations. So in that 10-year period, those tax cuts, the great majority going to the rich and to corporations, $2.1 trillion. Well, the economy must have boomed because he just told you, hey, you don't understand how capitalism works. We give it to the rich, we give trillions of dollars to the rich, and then you guys get a lot of jobs. So obviously unemployment went way down under Bush, right? Well, let's take a look. Here's the chart of unemployment. Wait a minute. It goes skyrocketing up at the end of Bush's term. So after 8 years, we didn't have unemployment going down, we had unemployment going up. Way up. Actually, if you continue that chart, it continued to go up during the Great Recession into Obama's first term, and then Obama turns it around. Well, you're going to say, well, Cenk, there was a giant financial crash at the end of 2007, 2008. Yeah, exactly. So the rich got all the money, and what did they do? They gambled with it. The banks gambled with it. They took crazy risks. They crashed their economy. So did it help the economy? Did it create more jobs? No, it didn't. It never does. By the way, I'll tell you why it doesn't, and I'll show you a couple more facts. Because if, for example, you do an earned income tax credit, which goes to the middle class or to the working poor, so they work, they get a tax credit. Okay, well, that's an interesting concept. That's different than tax cuts for the rich. They immediately spend the money. Or if you get Medicare or Medicaid, you need it. You immediately spend it on healthcare. You help with food stamps for the working poor. They immediately spend the money. You know why? Because they need it. So it circulates the money. They need food. They need books for their kids, etc. They need clothes. So they immediately put it back into the economy, and the money circulates. And so that winds. It's the exact opposite of trickle-down economics, and it actually improves the economy greatly. That's why at our height in the 1950s and 1960s, as our economy was booming and into the 1970s, we had tax rates for the very top marginal rate. This is not what they all paid. This is if you got past like $1 million, $10 million, depending on how you calculate inflation. For any dollar above that amount, you'd pay sometimes 70, sometimes up to 91% in taxes. But the economy boomed because then you build schools, you build bridges, and the money circulated when people got it in the middle class. When the rich get it, they put it into their bank account, and sometimes they gamble with that account and crash the economy. But they don't recirculate it in the economy. You can't take trillions of dollars of tax cuts and buy that many yachts with it. So more facts. As of 2013, the Tax Policy Center found that under Obama, the top 1% of earners paid an effective federal tax rate of roughly 32%, compared to about 27% under Bush. Now, I don't think that's nearly enough, but clearly in that case, Obama raised taxes. He also did it through Obamacare. There was a small increase in there, and that's what Rooney's fighting against, and they're saying, no, we got to give back all that money to the rich. So tax cuts, tax increases will greatly damage the economy, and you won't be able to add jobs. Really? So let's go to the facts on that. Well, jobs created under George W. Bush. There were some jobs created, and then unemployment shot up, and we lost a lot of jobs. So after 8 years, we only created about 1 million jobs. That's a miserable record, miserable. Under Barack Obama, 8 years, we created 15 million jobs. So what happened to tax increases hurt the economy and cost you jobs, and tax cuts are wonderful for the economy and create jobs. It's just not true. They keep repeating that as a talking point, not because they care about the economy or getting you jobs. It's because they work for those same rich donors who get those tax cuts. They have no intention of having it trickle down on you, except in terrible ways. They have an intention of keeping the money. That's why they bought people like Rooney to make those nonsense talking points. So now, as they cut your health care, and 22 million people won't have health care, and so many more people will have it cost much more money, especially if you're sick, you have a pre-existing condition, or you're elderly, and you'll get less coverage for it. And all of that so that the rich can get more tax cuts and pretend that it'll at some later point help you. You know what would help me now? Health insurance. You just watched the video from the Young Turks. Did you know that there's a live 2-hour show every day, and that if you're a member of the Young Turks, you can get that on demand anytime you want without ads? Plus the post game just for members, plus Aggressive Progressives, plus Old School, plus so many other network shows. Go right now, tytnetwork.com/join.